Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So I just thought I'll just do another response video, kind of in a way, because it's from these group of people who I call a bunch of softies. They're technically plugged in TV show, but I just wanted to look into one of their text reviews again, and it sucks. It's just fucking terrible. Of course it is. Anyway, it's from their website, like I said a moment ago. And I've been here before. I mean, not often, but I've been here before. Sure. Uh, yeah, I've spoken about these people a number of different times because they're not very good. They never once made a good review. They never made a good anything. All their content is terrible. So I don't see how people find this appealing, but whatever. Most likely because of the Christian values, I guess. Of course, in this case, it's going to be for the film Leap, quite obviously. And it's a terrible take on this movie. It's a really bad review on their part because they will glance over quite a bit, obviously. I mean, okay, the plot line for the movie is not exactly the most original thing ever, but I guess you can say the characters themselves kind of make up for it to some extent, I guess. Sure. But, but anyway, Felicia, yeah, this is a French film where the main character is a ballerina and she has a friend, of course. And the individual who makes this review, we even calling that. And yeah, it brings up the fact that there are these words like happy and orphans almost never loop into the same sentence, of course, according to this review. And yeah, I mean, orphanage is a real thing, of course, obviously. But the idea is that this individual, of course, wants to, main character, Felicia, wants to do something in regards of dancing because it's something from her mother. He reminds her of her mother and whatnot. I mean, I get what the movie was trying to do. Orphanage. Yeah, she has a big dream. Yeah, she might feel lonely, but it's something forward to aspire to, kind of thing. Again, sure, this kind of thing has been done before, sure, but still. Yeah, but yes, orphanage tend to be places of devastation, like sadness and whatnot, of course. And and the person who made this article review, what I'm calling it, for some reason, the dreams especially do not take flight in this kind of a thing when it comes to the late 19th century Catholic kind of place in French. I don't know what Catholicism has to do with anything, but that seems weird. It seems like you're trying to impose your belief system to the movie right there. And right off the bat, this review is full of shit because it's implying that you cannot achieve your dreams unless you're Catholic. That doesn't make any sense. See, you have to be religious. You have to believe in Jesus. You have to believe in God, well, their version of God anyway, in order to achieve your dreams. That's a complete and utter lie. That, so that's basically what this individual is trying to get at. And yeah, the review in itself doesn't really make much sense, of course, and whatnot. It doesn't really go in depth with with the overall detail. And yeah, it does bring the whole fact that the up and coming production of the Nutcracker, which yes does become a focal point in the story, sure, but still though. And I just want to re-imply that you have to be a part of their religion in order to achieve their your any kind of dreams. Though I've seen the movie quite a few times by this point, and no, there's nothing religious in the movie at all. Yes, I'm not doubting that there are French people who are religious. I'm not denying that. But I'm talking about within the confines of the film itself. There's literally nothing of God that's mentioned in the movie. But when this individual was talking about the summary of the plot, keeps bringing hope, or keeps being inspiring to and whatnot, stuff like this. Again, trying to really hammer in believe in God, believe in God, believe in God. You have to absolutely believe in their version of God in order to become a great person at the end of the day. That's a complete and utter lie, like I just said. I know I'm repeating myself right here, folks. I realize that, but when we get down to it, that's what this article is really trying to do. You have to believe in what they believe, otherwise, you're gonna be a failure for the rest of your life. Which, which doesn't make any sense again because you mean to tell me there aren't any atheists who are highly successful? Because there's plenty of those, so you can just dismiss them. But if I do have to critique the film for anything, I do believe the whole yeah popular girl means barely because she's rich and all that. That's overdone, if you ask me. I've seen that in a multitude of different movies and video games. I've seen that so many times. Like the popular girl is an asshole. Oh boy. By the way, this is pretty much the second time I'm bringing this movie up with these people because I did do a video response when they did a YouTube video about it. So I'm pretty much talking about the text version of it. While the text movie review does bring up more information compared to the YouTube version of the review, sure, there's a lot more information that's brought up. That's true. But while yes, the text review is more informative than the YouTube version review that they did, it's still a bad review. It's still a bad review because again, they're trying to really hammer in that you have to believe in God, otherwise you're gonna have a miserable life. Which again, it just seems rather condescending if you ask me, but there you go. Yeah, having the little kid kisses the back of the lady's hand, it seems kind of suspicious, don't you think? And the answer is yes. But then if I had a scene where these two characters, the bully and the other still maybe secret lovers, I'm pretty sure a lot of you Christians would have just got really angry about that, but just totally dismissed the other thing I just said because they're the opposite gender. But then at the same time, all of you would be saying, oh, they're too young to know about relationships, yada, 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 and all that jazz. But then again, turn around again, I'd just be fine with something like this. That's because they're the opposite gender. Now, a lot of you Christians are really, really confusing, if you ask me, but whatever. Acting as though somebody's out to get you if they disagree with you in a most minuscule little thing. So I don't get it. A lot of you are just really inconsistent in that regard. And yes, I know it's the whole victim complex kind of a thing. And yes, this kind of thing is what the plugged in for the family had complained about before. Yes, you can actually look at their YouTube channel or on the website and just bitch about something that's different than they are. And yeah, they have complained about it. But anyway, according to the review, if you want to call this a review, that is, the positive elements is that the leap, I'm pretty sure this individual is referring to the American version because the French version is referred to as ballerina. So why the name change, I don't know. Anyway, going back to what I was saying with the review, is that the one of the positive elements is that the film Leap follows a familiar template, a lovable, talented, but I guess the young girl clinging on her to her dreams no matter what and doing everything possible to make it happen. Felicia's determination and drive are admirable, even if some of the decisions she makes pursuing her dream aren't, like whatever that means. Like what like what specifically wasn't exactly good? Like what did she do really that was kind of bad? And I mean the whole lying bit I guess maybe was can be a bad thing, yes. Which she did technically lie in the film to get what she wanted, but I can say that's a bad thing. But the review here doesn't specify like what exactly did she do in regards to decisions that would be considered bad. I don't know. I think the individual who the one woman, the older woman who has like the limping leg, is mentioned here because she plays a significant mother-like role in honoring Felicia's ballerina skills, and the older woman is mostly patient with the young woman's strong headedness, I guess. I mean, yeah, that's true, but still, to listen at times. Otherwise, you're also going to see Victor, which is also mentioned, who is also mentioned in the review. Victor would do anything to help the friend he's secretly come to admire more than a friend. And Felicia's at times self-indulgent choices test and the relationship as well. And what that means, I mean, yeah, the yeah, Victor did have a crush on Felicia. You know, that became really obvious because there was this one scene in the both in the English version and the American version, in the French version and the American version, the dialogues mention that he says that she's his girlfriend, even though she never agreed to that. But which I find kind of weird that the reviewer skipped that. Yes, he said that she is his girlfriend without considering her feelings first. That seems kind of weird if you ask me. He just assumed that, which yes does appear in the French version and in the American version, by the way. That's kind of weird, don't you think? Which it is, of course. And then the reviewer, if you want to call this a reviewer anyway, goes on to say Felicia treats Victor quite badly for a time. Like, okay, what did she do? What didn't what? It didn't specify. That's again my complaint is really vague. And but the thing is that this review eventually states that he accepts her eventual apology and helps so one last time, I guess, at making her dream come true of becoming a ballerina. Again, what specifically are you referring to exactly? There's no moment that this review is specifying anything. This is incredibly vague. Like, what exactly are you referring to? I don't know. This seems kind of weird if you ask me. But at one point, according to the review, it says that there was a one point of deep discouragement. Felicia, in a dream, this encouraging thing from her mother is that never, no matter what happens, never give up on your dreams. If you never leap, you never know what it's like to fly. I mean, okay, that's kind of cringy, but sure, whatever. But and then other net and in the other segment is that this title that spiritual elements. Again, like I just said a moment ago, there was nothing religious in this movie. Zip, zero, nada. Absolutely nothing religious in this movie. So this movie review is attempting to, of course, get along with this kind of notion. The prison-like orphanage in the story is run by stern, sometimes cruel Catholic nuns. But apart from that context, there's no other spiritual element. Yeah, there shouldn't be anyway. But anyway, going on from that segment, this it was so bad. It is so bad. Anyway, according to the review, in this segment titled "Sexual Romantic Content," so you realize this is a kids movie, right? It's a kids movie. It's a kids movie. It's well, it's a family movie to be more exact. But apparently, there is this dancing Russian ballet dancer who repeatedly attempts to swoop Felicia off her feet and nearly succeeds in doing so. And what? You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. Really? Really? The reviewer is referring to these two, by the way, acting as if that the male character, yeah, Blondie with her, is trying to seduce her to have sex with her. What movie did you see, bud? What? That was clearly not in the movie. What you're referring to is not in the movie at all.
The hell is wrong with you people?
I mean, yes, it does become a focal point in the story where it became like a battle between Victor and the one dude, Blondie over there. Tunnel Gab of Felicia's intention, yeah, that was a part of the movie because Blondie wanted to have a relationship with her. But that makes sense actually when you think about it. But it wasn't sexual. Speaking of which, the moment where Victor claimed that, yeah, that's my girlfriend. Yes, apparently that was too sexual as well. The fact that he made that claim that she's his girlfriend without her consent was somehow sexual. What are you talking about? I mean, granted, he was being a dumbass for saying that. I'm not taking that away from you, but that wasn't inherently sexual, like at all. So where are you exactly getting this from? Exactly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I do not. And at some point in the film, there was a joke, a really crude joke that was done, where Victor said this Lady of Liberty, a Statue of Liberty, or whatever that was. He instead says that the Statue of Puberty instead, as like a little joke, I guess.
It makes sense.
And I mean, he was just being playful, of course, and whatnot. He was just joking. But again, given the ages, I should say, because there's two of them we're talking about here, he was saying that to Felicia, the Statue of Puberty. Which I thought was kind of funny. But anyway, the reviewer also said that was somehow too sexual as well. Are you kidding me? That was too sexual? Ugh. Christ. Christ almighty. If I had a movie where those two princesses who were also, let's say, orphanage individuals and they want to be ballet dancers and they actually like each other, like each other, catch my drift here, you will claim that these two, or at least the film producers anyway, should be on a watch list, if you catch my drift here. But then turn around and claim that if it's a straight couple doing that, it's partly fine. So my point being is that this entire thing seems awfully hypocritical and whatnot. You're projecting your own nonsense onto the movie. You're doing that. It's you're thinking these strange things into the movie. So you mean to tell me that you shouldn't be on a watch list, but the creators instead? For doing, I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, then there's another segment called the violent content. Yes, seriously. Felicia and Victor flee the orphanage in a wagon that rolls downhill. So apparently that's too violent. And someone is using a motorcycle. That's too violent. And okay, I don't get it. So yeah, again, anyway, a few other moments that were somehow deemed too violent, even though the violence in here isn't really that much. Is the violence you're talking about is non-existent. I mean, yeah, the little boy, Victor gets hit in the head with a pan. That was too violent. And then the whole bit where the mother character of the bully, of the blondie bully, the little girl earlier, the popular girl, I mean, when she was actually attempting to kill Felicia. Okay, that I'll admit that was a bit aggressive. I'll admit that, but it goes along with the story. So that violent bit is actually goes on with the story because the mother character was living her dream through her daughter, and the fact that she viewed Felicia as a threat, she wants to get rid of her. I mean, personally, this kind of elements in the story doesn't bother me at all because it goes along with the story. It goes with the story. It goes with the story. It goes with the story. Again, it goes with the story. It's not like it's out of character or anything. Anyway, this is again very hypocritical. The Spanish Empire, who mind you believe in Catholicism, actually enslaved people. So that's okay. That's not too violent. That's not barbaric at all. And they actually stole land as well from the Indians. So because of the fact, oh, God said so. Oh, this is so moronic. This is so stupid. It's, I don't get it. This is so hypocritical to the max. And then there was this whole bit where Felicia fell doing training when it comes to ballet, and apparently that was too violent. Are you kidding me? And you wonder why I would call you the softies because of stuff like this you complain about. I don't get it. I don't get any of this. None of this makes any sense. And then we, of course, going to have Felicia with her friends. I do kind of wish they had more screen time, though. Especially the one with a more dopey looking face. I always thought she was kind of funny, though. She should have more screen time with Felicia and like trying to cheer her up or something. She kind of seems like the outcast in some ways. I don't know. Maybe they could have done more with that. Seemed like a missed opportunity if you ask me. Alright, I'm sidetracking here. I'm sidetracking. Anyway, apparently there's some crude and profound language in the next segment here. And because that's a flower lie, for one, because one of the characters says, "Oh my God!" Apparently, that's too aggressive. Because just because someone said, "Oh my God," and then there was also some name calling like stupid, fool, idiots, and then someone else says, "Oh, you dancing sucks." Apparently, that's too profound. Are you kidding me? That's too serious. That's too mean. I don't get it. Anyway, so in regards of the segment that says drug and alcohol related content, Victor and Felicia visit this place. Well, Felicia dances out with some people who are in a bar. I mean, yes, there is a scene in a bar where people are obviously drunk. Yeah, that is in the movie. Okay, again, you do have to realize this is a French film, right? It's a French film. It's a French film. Again, it's a French film. It's a French film. It's a French. It was just dubbed in English. I mean, all of the dialogue was changed, of course, and a lot of scenes were altered, obviously. But that aside, this is from a different culture. It's from a completely different culture than what you have here. For one, what's acceptable in a kids movie and what isn't acceptable in a kids movie are going to be completely different here over here and comparing in France. Again, these are two completely different cultures. So of course, what's warranted in a PG or rated G film is going to be completely different in two different cultures. And even though a G rated film is for the general audience, while a PG film might be for a specific audience, sure, but still though, these are two completely different cultures. What's acceptable and what isn't acceptable in a kids or family movie aren't going to be exactly like that. I'm saying kids and family movie in two different categories because these are two different types of content. Okay, almost done here. Oh boy, this was so bad. It is so bad. In this segment, that says that other noteworthy elements, the orphanage is depicted as a grim place. That's it for okay, it makes sense within confines of the story. Anyway, that said, Felicia and Victor's desire to flee, it is still a very risky choice. Well, yeah, it is. We do need the plot to get going. The characters do need to have a goal. The characters do need to have some kind of motivation to do what they do. Otherwise, we're not going to really have a movie. Not really. Then there was a character, the Mother Superior at the orphanage, intentionally tries to snuff out Felicia's dreams, telling the girl that all the world has is a dream, but nothing gets through your head. Dreams are not your reality. Which, yes, the Catholic nun character did say something in like that. Sure, yeah, that did happen in the movie. The Catholic nun character did say that. But again, there's supposed to be a contrast. The Catholic nun is supposed to be a pessimist, while the younger girl is more of an optimist. Maybe a bit of a tomboy who makes mistakes, sure, but an optimist nonetheless. That was the idea. These two characters are supposed to contrast each other in terms of personality. This is supposed to be done. The nun character, the Catholic nun, says that to the little girl intentionally here to set the rest of the plot up. You have no idea how movies work, don't you? So anyway, of course, Felicia wants to go and just do what she wants. Anyway, trying to prove her wrong, of course, and whatnot. Anyway, then there's a whole bit where, in conclusion, there's a conclusion part of this. Here, Leap tells a story of what feels like so many others we've seen before and whatnot. As the way it feels like, it does feel too familiar. I mean, yeah, it doesn't diminish its charm, which, yeah, I agree, that's true. It doesn't diminish its charm. Yeah, it's not exactly the most original movie ever, but the characters kind of make up for it. Anyway, that's like the only thing I would agree with you on. Anyway, folks, that's about it. This is just a horrible, horrible, really shitty review. As always, thanks for watching. See ya. Oh yeah.